Hello, everyone. I'm Raíssa, and I'm bringing you now a new podcast of the blog Softball Now. This Saturday afternoon, it's always hot here in Natal. Now we have the temperature at 29 degrees Celsius, but it really feels like 31 degrees Celsius. Hot, hot, hot. And this podcast, well, first I have to tell you that probably next week, the schedule of this English podcast will change will be changed because it's getting really hard to prepare this for 2 o'clock. When I finally got this to be ready at 2 o'clock, now I can't get it anymore. So probably at 11:30 a.m. next Saturday, we're gonna be talking here as we always do on Saturday afternoons. It's gonna be Saturday mornings now. Well, at the end of the morning. But the title, it's hard. It has nothing to do with the schedule of this podcast. It has to do with getting a healthy lifestyle. I don't know if you ever paid attention to this. I'm quite sure you did because most of the people have this trouble in life that we want to get a healthy lifestyle, but it is really hard for many reasons, many different reasons. And I'm gonna tell you a little bit of my experience to you. I used to run before when I was a girl at school. I used to play basketball. Then I used to play karate. I used to play volleyball. So I was kind of an athlete back at school, but when I got to the university, everything got really difficult. Schedule was crazy, so I stopped exercising, and of course I started gaining a lot of weight. I'm fat and I have to deal with this, and I had to deal with this for a long time. And I started to run. I believe maybe 7 years ago, I started to run as some kind of advice from a physical educator, because I used to work out a lot too. And then this educator told me to try running, and I was kind of surprised at the beginning because I enjoyed that. For me, it was really hard when I was a teenager to run. I didn't like running, maybe because I have asthma, but I didn't like running. I was always very tired because of running. Even when I played basketball, it was difficult to run for a long time. Basketball, you run for some time only. So I never thought of running as the perfect exercise to me, but then I started running and I liked this. It was something good to do. Of course, I have a different pace from other people as I am fat. It's kind of hard for me, but I had a different pace. But I finally got to a race and I finished the race. It was something important to me. But all these 7 years so far, running became something that was not really permanent in my life because I had injuries, I had work to get into my way of running, and I had some diseases too, not only injuries. So it got really hard, and last year I decided to take this seriously. So I got a training plan from the Brazilian version of Runner's World, the magazine that is a very good magazine if you like to run, or if you want to start running. It's a very good magazine with very good tips. And so I got this plan. It was a really easy plan, an 8-week beginner's plan. We would walk most of the time, and eventually we would start running 30 minutes non-stop. And I started to do this. I thought that I was going well, so I decided to get the opportunity I was traveling to the USA in January, and I had this really great chance of running at Tropical 5K Miami. This is a kind of a race for family that is there in Miami to follow other people that are going to run the marathon and the half marathon that they have, that is called Miami Marathon. So I decided to run this. I was getting ready for that. I was really excited about it. But then, 2 weeks before my trip, I had some injury, my foot. I felt something really strange, really hurting, and I couldn't walk anymore that moment. And I was, well, with doctors said maybe I had a stress fracture of the foot. Of course, I stopped all exercising because back then I had to decide if I wanted to keep running or if I wanted to travel, because I was going to Miami and Orlando. And you know that in Orlando we walk a lot in theme parks and shopping centers, etc. So I stopped all the exercising, all the running to go to this trip. And from that moment in January till now, it's been really hard to get back to running. I started this plan many times. Last time that I started this plan, it was last week, but I could do it like only one day. And this week, I finally got to finish the first week of this plan. But I think that now maybe I'm getting really back to running. Of course, I'm still in the walking part of the plan. But what I'm trying to say here is that we have to deal a lot of things. We have to deal with a lot of things to get a healthy lifestyle. First of all, we have to rearrange all our schedule if we want to exercise. It's difficult to have some time to run, to walk. I don't know what activity you like. Whatever is the activity that you like and that you want to do, it is difficult to get that special time to do it because you have to work, because traffic is bad, because of course you have other things to do. It's not only work, but sometimes you have to be with your family. Sometimes you gotta go shopping, and you know, all these normal things that we have in life. There's a movie you want to see. Netflix is there to tempt you all the time. Then we have the social media, someone calling, someone wanting to chat with you. So it's really hard to get that special schedule, but you have to do it. You have to sit and think and try to get some time to exercise, because it's important for your life. It's important for your health. Then you have to prepare for that. You gotta go to the doctor, you gotta get all your examinations done. So, of course, we are talking about more time here. You gotta have the special equipment, you gotta have running shoes or good running shoes if you want to run. The outfit has to be comfortable and specific for running and this kind of things. And when you think of the exercising, you have to think about all the other things. For example, getting the perfect food, and you have to drink water. And yes, drinking water is a big part of the trouble, because you gotta have you gotta have a water bottle with you, so you can control the quantity of water you drink, and the frequency of water that you have to drink too. So sometimes the best way to control this drinking water is that you use a reusable water bottle for that. But this week I just saw a study that was published on the internet. It was published in our website, that is www.treadmillreviews.net. And this website just published a study about the water bottles we use when we exercise. And guys, the news is not good. They tested 12 kinds of water bottles, and they find out that the average athlete's water bottle contains 313,499 colony forming units per square centimeter. So this is really dirty. Of course, they had these waters used by the same athletes during a week. With the athletes, they didn't wash the bottles. Of course, I don't believe that someone can use a bottle of water for a week without washing it. But maybe there is someone who does this. But they compare to the average pet toy. So the toy that a dog has in its mouth, for example, this average toy has 2,937 colony forming units. So it's like, I don't know, it's like 100 times more dirty. Sorry, not more dirty. It's 100 times dirtier than a pet toy. So the water bottle that you use and you don't wash, that is 100 times dirtier than a pet toy. Can you imagine this? So, and they compare the types of water bottles. We have that slide top, that's the worst of all. Then we have the squeeze top, it's bad too. And the screw top. And the best one is the straw top, the one that has a straw. The quantity of colony forming units, the amount of that is really small. It's only 25.4. And they compare this to other dirty surface, like a toothbrush holder has 331,848 colony forming units. It's less than a water bottle. A pet bowl, 47,383 colony forming units. A kitchen sink has 3,191 colony forming units. And a cutting board is 6.8, so it's cleaner. It's a lot cleaner than the water bottle that you use and you don't wash. And you don't wash. So, and they also tested the kind of germs that were there, that they had gram-negative rods, gram-positive cocci, bacillus, gram-positive rods. So all kinds of bacteria that you can imagine were there in these water bottles that they tested. So can you see how hard it is to get a healthy lifestyle, even when you decide to think about nature and use a reusable water bottle? If you don't wash it properly, you can have lots of trouble in your life, because you can get some kind of infection. And when we think about things to eat, for example, I don't know the rest of the world how these things are really going, but in Brazil we have a crisis, and vegetables and fruits, they are really expensive around here. So if you decide to eat, for example, apples, you can buy a kilogram of apples and you pay 8 reais. You buy you buy a cookies pack, it's like 3 reais. So even if you decide to get this healthy lifestyle, healthy food is expensive around here. So you gotta be really firm about your motivation and in your purpose. You gotta focus, because money is gonna get in the way, time is gonna get in the way, bacteria is gonna get in the way. So it's hard, guys. It's really hard. But as I told you, I'm getting back there. I still have this pain in my foot, but I got a doctor to tell me that I had to do it. I had to keep pushing me because only when my foot is hurting, this pain reaches a point that I can't stand. Only at this point they're gonna have some kind of examination to confirm if it's a stress fracture or not. So can you see? I have to deal with the pain every day that I decide to walk, and I'm still walking in my plan. I'm gonna start running maybe in 2-3 weeks, and then I will get back to you to say how much this hurts. Well, that's it, guys. That was all we had to talk about today, and I want to remind you again that next Saturday this podcast is gonna start at 11:30. Let's hope so. And tomorrow at 10 o'clock, if you want to know a little bit about the soccer teams here, get back to our podcast of Softball Now. Okay? Have a nice Saturday. Have a nice weekend. And see you there.